Time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week. It is time.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans.
New camera angle.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived.
Everyone talking about it.
Hear from the man himself, Ariel
Hottest thing in the biz.
Live from the Box Studios in beautiful New York City.
Beautiful.
It's on the nose. And now, to answer your questions, get out of your seats and on your feet because here he is, Ariel Helwani.
All right, let's go. No time to waste. We got to answer some damn questions here. And then we ain't got to go home, but we have to get the hell out of here. All right, let's do this. Ooh, a first timer, I believe, to kick things off. How about that? Are you still rattled from the microphone thing? What's going on? Everything okay? Do you need a hug?
Sometimes I'm not sure
Sometimes
what
we're
you
vibing,
constitute as breaking news.
This is from Steven Svitko. What's good, Ariel? I had a question about matchmaking this week. When the UFC is deciding who is fighting who, which executive has the most say when pitching ideas for fights? I know there's probably a committee or something, but does it solely fall in the hands of just a couple of people? Lately, I feel like there's been questionable matchups in odd locations that left plenty of us scratching our heads. Cough, Salt Lake City, cough. Do you think that the planning stages get so hectic they forget about the obvious pay-per-view draws, prime locations for our hometown fighters, and young fighter promotion? How do they fix this? There's 4 people that are involved in the matchmaking process. Number 1, Dana White. Number 2, Hunter Campbell. Number 3, Sean Shelby. Number 4, Mick Maynard. As you all know, Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby have the weight classes divvied up. So they deal with their own weight classes. Like Mick has heavyweights and light heavyweights and middleweights. And I believe welterweights. Shelby has, I think, 25, 35, 45, 55. Mick also has the women. And then for the really, really big fights, obviously Dana and Mick are involved. Excuse me, Dana and Hunter Campbell are involved. The one who's probably involved the most, especially with the big fights, is Hunter. Hunter's the one doing the negotiations. He's the one really on the front lines, especially for the big fights, like the Nate Diaz situation, a John Jones, a Stipe, a thing like that. All that is Hunter. It's very, very rare that Dana gets involved in the negotiations. It's very rare that he's on the front lines, that he's getting his hands dirty. It's really on Hunter now. And I will say, even though I think he probably doesn't care for me or whatever, I don't know. I don't even know what he thinks of me. I've told you one time the story of him texting me saying like, hey, if you ever need anything, hit me up, and then I never heard from him again. All good, I get it. But I will say most people actually speak very highly of the way in which Hunter does business in terms of not being too emotional, being sensible to a degree. It's not as kind of bullyish as it has been in the past. So he has been somewhat of a breath of fresh air in that regard. Obviously, there's going to be butting of heads. Obviously, there's going to be differences and whatnot. But I would say from most fighters and managers, in particular managers, because they're the ones dealing with that stuff, I hear positive feedback. So that's the committee, if you will. The smaller fights will just be the 2 main matchmakers. I actually feel like they should have more. They need scouts. I mean, like, think about a baseball front office or a football or basketball or hockey front office. Like, there's scouts. There's a whole department. And really, in terms of signing and matching up those fighters up until you get to like the creme de la creme, it's really on Mick and Sean. And for the longest time, it was just Joe Silva. And then they brought over Sean, and then Joe left and Mick came in. And then you have, Dana and Lorenzo at the top now, Dana and Hunter. Dana, very much a non-factor when it comes to this stuff now. It's really Hunter. And that's not me throwing shade. I think he would be the first to tell you that as well. You can make a case for them having more and needing more, but it works. Hugo, hey Ariel, with Jose Aldo and Merab potentially fighting, where does that leave Corey, Henry Cejudo, and Petr Yan? Cheers and go the Crows. Yes, go the Crows. Lewis tells me that the next question is about Cejudo too, so maybe I'll team them up. Has there been, thank you for that, Lewis. Great job as always. Hagreed, has there been any word on if Henry Cejudo is definitely returning to the UFC? If so, who do you think / want to see him make his return against? Personally, I think an event with Jones Stipe in the main and Cejudo Aldo in the co-main would be legendary. Well, I will tell you that what I reported yesterday is accurate. They are trying to book Merab versus Jose Aldo for that August 20th card in Salt Lake City. And so then you can deduce that they're going to go with TJ and Aljo, maybe in the fall, maybe September. And that would leave Corey available, potential Corey versus Song Yadong. And I think the Henry stuff is interesting, but Henry can only come back in October. Now, the original plan was Jan versus Chito Vera in August. I told you that was the plan. Jan couldn't come back. And then you have a situation where they go with Dominic Cruz instead. Maybe, and I'm not hearing anything because I think they want him to get through his testing thing. And maybe they've had preliminary talks, but maybe you go with Jan versus Cejudo. Like Cejudo wants big business. You win that fight, you get a title shot. I could also see them doing Aljo versus Dillashaw, then just giving Cejudo the winner of that, and he just returns, early next year. But no real talk right now as far as who they'll match him up against. But the clouds are opening up at 35, and that is good news. McKinney, hi Ariel. My question today is, do you believe the gap in competition has diminished significantly over the years between the champion of each weight class and the respective top contenders? My reasoning behind this is that most of the top divisions don't have the same mystique of an untouchable champion as they would have in the past, and are essentially a two-horse race. For instance, Figgy Moreno, well, what does Kai Kara France think of that? Volk Max, there's still some guys there. Usman Colby, don't tell Leon about that. Izzy I feel like this is a bit of a stretch. I get what you're saying, but it's more cyclical. It could just be that the skill level has increased so much with this era of talent that there's almost a more even playing field. I think there's more parity. I think there's more parity, and I think that's better. Adrian, dear Ariel. Oh, Adrian's the best. I need to put my glasses on for Adrian because he always has those great life questions. Wow, what a difference my glasses make. Adrian, dear Ariel, greetings once again from London, Ontario, Canada. Firstly, I want to thank you for the kind and thoughtful cameo you did on behalf of my girlfriend. Yes, Emily, his girlfriend, asked me to do one for their anniversary, and I did it. And it was very nice to realize that it was the same Adrian from On the Nose. And yes, there they are. This is amazing. I will get to that in a moment. It made my day. What Emily failed to mention when requesting the cameo, however, is that the day of our anniversary is also her birthday. Although these two events are on the same day, she is insistent that they require separate dinners, gifts, and even cards. I disagree, as I think that it is far more efficient to roll our anniversary and her birthday into one event with one gift. My question to you is, if a loved one has a birthday that falls on the day of another gift-giving event, example, anniversary, holiday, etc., do you consider grouping their gifts together to be socially acceptable? As always, appreciate your valuable insights. I mean, it's a tremendous question. It really is. P.S., given that my girlfriend often comes up in my questions, a couple of posters have asked me to verify her existence. To do so, I've sent Lewis a photo of the two of us enjoying anniversary drinks, not to be confused with birthday drinks, which she tells me are somehow different. So we do have the photo evidence, right? The photographic evidence. There is Adrian and his lovely girlfriend, Emily, enjoying their birthday drinks. No, excuse me, anniversary drinks, not to be confused with the birthday drinks. This is a doozy of a question. And, I'd love to ask the rest of the team as well. I lean towards grouping them together. If it just so happens that your birthday falls on Christmas, I'm okay with grouping them together. If it just so happens that your birthday falls on an anniversary, I'm okay with grouping them together, but I could also understand someone saying, no, we're keeping this separate. On the 13th, we're going to celebrate the anniversary, and on the 14th, we'll celebrate you. I could see both ways. I would be inclined for myself to do it one night. I have a feeling if I asked my wife, she would say to separate them, or at least acknowledge them in separate ways. What do you think, Frank?
I think it's a little weird.
What is weird?
Sending a picture of your girlfriend to prove that she exists just kind of makes it seem like she doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is a left turn. This is a whole different story that you're going with here. We're just talking about What's exciting? You're calling BS on Adrian in total. Like
I'm just, yeah. I mean, even Lewis, when he sent me the photo, he was like, "Full disclosure, I haven't reversed image searched this, so it's a possibility."
Wow. My mind doesn't even go there.
You're the better person. I understand.
Your mind goes there right away.
Kind of. I hope. I mean, look, if it's a real picture, it's a lovely picture. It's great. I'm glad, but like, don't let the internet force you to confirm or deny something.
Can we see the picture one more time? Is it a Photoshop, you think? What do you think?
I mean, it's a good composition, but you could totally, like all of that behind her head could just be green screen.
Wow. I mean, you've blown my mind.
If you look at the glass, you don't see his reflection in it.
Whoa. I wouldn't even consider for a second this is fake.
Well, did you know they took the word gullible out of the dictionary?
I think you've hit me with this one before.
All right.
Now, okay, Fugazi aside, catfish aside, what about the anniversary birthday dilemma that he's talking about?
Yeah, I could see that.
Both fall on the same day. Do you celebrate them separately or do you split them up?
You separate them.
You separate them.
Right.
You do 2 separate dinners.
2 separate dinners. One, it's like hey, this is for you. It's your birthday. But this one, we're deciding communally because it's our anniversary.
But it's the same people.
Right. But it's not like you're throwing. Okay, so the anniversary is a couple, like it's 2 people celebrating being together. So they get equal say. For the birthday, though, it should be all about the birthday girl in this case.
Okay, interesting. New York Rick?
Yeah, you make things easy and combine them, of course. It's the only way to go.
I had a feeling Rick would say that.
Yeah, I mean, efficiency. What are we wasting time here for?
I'm sure that would be a great topic to have at your anniversary dinner.
Can you ask the lone female on the squad today, Lonnie? What does she think?
Stand by 1 second.
I don't know if she has the mic. It's all right. You can relay the message.
Sure she is.
Hello. I would separate them.
You would separate them?
Yeah.
So you would have 2 separate evenings. Even though it's the same people, the same 2 people, it falls on the same day. Both of them are on the 15th of June. You would go out 2 separate times and say, this is for the anniversary. This is for the birthday.
It is personal preference, but like I do a bunch of different things for my birthday with like different groups of people. It's like doesn't have to be something big. It's just signifying like this one's about a single person, their birthday versus the couple.
Okay, that is interesting. Now, which goes first, by the way? Does the anniversary come first, like the collective unit, or does the singular birthday celebration come first?
That doesn't necessarily matter. I think just scheduling wise.
All right. Well, I mean, it's the same 2 people, so it's a really interesting dilemma. And I'd like to believe that Adrian is sending us a real photo here.
I think it's a real photo.
I think so too. I think that's just Frank's cold heart rearing its ugly head. This is from Carmelo. Hey, Ariel, there's something really special about that Anthony Smith. He elevates the Believe You Me podcast, and not going to lie, his segment on your show Monday was some of the best listening I've had with your show. Do you think you can have him keep popping up on the show while GC is gone? Because, boy, New York Rick's takes, you see, I'm just I swear I was reading it, and now I'm going to stop. I'm not even going to say what he said, New York Rick, because I don't want you to get mad at me again. I'm stopping.
Again. No, please continue. I
don't want this. I don't want to feed into this narrative.
You're misrepresenting once again. Not shocking. It's you. It's not the people.
It's me. I'm not the one saying
it. You are welcoming it. You are creating the environment for it, and then going, who, me? You put your hands up. I'll do a voice now. Who, me? I didn't do this. And then pretending like you're not culpable for it.
Wow. You're really going to I'm the one stopping from reading this.
Yeah, but even this conversation about it is bringing light to it, is bringing attention to it, giving air to the...
No, because if I read it, then you say, oh, why did you read it? You're feeding into it.
No, I don't care about that. You think, Sabatello nailed it. You think I care about these loser jabrones who like, oh, you have a bad take? No, it's not that. That's not the gripe. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. So of course I don't care about that. It's your support of it. It's your cultivation of it.
Wow. Okay.
Let him read it. I don't care.
All he said was New York Rick's takes ain't cutting it.
No idea what he's talking about.
Cyborg pound for pound. That's all he said. New York Rick's takes ain't cutting it.
Yeah, I mean, check Cyborg's Twitter.
Yeah, she's giving you props. How about that? I mean, by the way,
Cyborg's Twitter.
Far from one of your worst takes. I mean, far. Not even the stratosphere. You can make.
Yeah, your reaction to it on Monday wasn't commensurate with that.
Wow. See,
everything is.
Why are you so mad, bro?
Not of equal measure. No, I'm not mad. You asked me what the genesis of this is, and I'm telling you.
What about that Danny Sabatello? Where does that rank?
Tremendous. And again, like I get it. I get exactly what he's saying. He was speaking to me there.
What about the haters?
A lot of these MMA fans that think they know things that really don't.
You mean these ones? Ew, why don't you have 275 fighters on the card? Ew.
I think you'll be surprised to know how many of those people are the same ones asking.
Wow.
I think you'll be shocked to know that you have some people in your house that you might not want.
Well, it sounds like Carmelo wants to have Anthony Smith on the show as a repeating guest. I love Anthony. He's the man. Now, what do I do about this situation? Can I just ask you guys? There's a manager who keeps texting me. He's texted me 3 times. Let me ask you, seriously, New York Rick. He's saying, hey, can you give me a call back? This is at 1:03. So we're already live. He's a manager, a prominent manager in the sport of MMA. Then he texts me back at 3:05, 2 hours later. I'm still on the air. Nothing, question mark, with a sad face. Then he texts me at 4, so 13 minutes ago, and says, hey, are we good? Call me. How should I feel about this? I'm live on the air. If you follow me on social media, you probably know I'm live on the air. I've been doing the Wednesday show now for almost a year. Should I be offended by this? Should I call him right now?
Yes.
Call him right now on the air.
You have to forgive him for not knowing, but you also have to expect that he forgives you for the urgency of his text without the knowledge. So you have to give him grace, and then he has to return the grace, meaning he has to say, oh, I didn't realize you were on air. I'm so sorry. Now I understand. Not keep the hardline stance. So you have to give each other grace.
Wait, but does that mean I call him right now?
Sure, go for it.
I mean, I just feel like
and demand grace.
Well, you're invited. You keep asking me, what's up? How's it going? I'm live on the air.
Did you reply with that?
It sounds important. Let's find out.
All right, we're finding out. Now I'm going to tell him. Let's see here. Brian, we're live on the air right now. I'm on the air, and I'm reading your text messages. So you're on the air right now. I just want to let you know. I'm reading your text messages, and I've asked my crew how I should feel about the fact that you have sent me 3 text messages while I've been live the entire time. At 1:03, at 3:05, and at 4:15.
I was just giving you shit based off of our last conversation.
I know, but how should I feel about the fact that I'm live on the air? I've been doing this Wednesday program.
You were live on the air, bro.
So should I feel offended by the fact that you didn't know that you are giving me, tongue-in-cheek shit, but yet not knowing that I'm live on the air? How should I feel about this? And why do you need me to call you what is so urgent? Now we're live. Can I tell the people who I'm talking to? I'm talking to the great Brian Butler of Sucker Punch. No. He's one of the most prominent managers in MMA.
Touche on your little burn back to me after my screenshot.
Sure. You say that I never show you love, this, that. Here you are on the program, live on the air, and yet you have texted me multiple times today.
This is awesome.
Yes. What is so important? What do we need to talk about?
I can't tell you on live air.
Oh, you can't?
No. Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay. So should I call you after the show?
Yes, you should call me when you are done.
And did you think that I was ignoring you? Did you think, oh, what's up with Ariel?
No,
oh, hey, let me check his Twitter.
I was fucking with you because of the last little bit of banter that we had.
Did you not know I do a show on Wednesday? Should I be offended by that?
I keep forgetting because your show was just on Mondays, and then you switched your schedule up, and I just can't keep up with schedules with all the stuff that's on.
All right.
That's all it is.
Well, I didn't want, because we still have another 45 minutes. I didn't want you worrying and texting me again if we're good. So I just wanted to let you know I am here. I still love you and respect you dearly, but I'm doing a live program right now. If there's something you'd like to break to the audience, they'd love to hear it.
Oh, no. It's literally me giving you shit over something else, and it's totally...
All right.
Yeah.
I will call you when we are done.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Take care. There he is. The great Brian Butler of Sucker Punch Entertainment. I mean, I feel like that was warranted, right? I mean, we're on the air. Patrick.
All's well that ends well.
Yes. Favorite segment of the week, 2 quick questions. When the UFC holds an event overseas, do they fly all the staff over privately? No. What are you, crazy? Privately? I mean, you're lucky if you get business class. Or do they fly them commercial? What about DC Anik? No. They're flying commercial. Do you not see them on Instagram and whatnot? Any update on whether you and DC will reunite for something during International Fight Week? Wow. I don't think so. I mean, what do you mean by reunite? Like doing a show? No. I would be shocked. But you never know. Honestly, didn't even think about it. He's got a big week. He's doing the show. He's getting inducted. P.S. Oh, wait. Here's a positive New York Rick comment. This is good. P.S. I love New York Rick. There's a but. But him rating Special K as the best cereal of all time is almost as bad as that one judge that scored the fight 49-46 for Valentina. He threw me a curveball. I thought he was going to say it.
I can accept that. Subjective. But he's wrong. I'm sorry.
Here he is.
Yeah. I can accept that, but they're wrong, obviously.
Right.
Again, I'm just here to deliver the truth. How you people take it is up to you. Once I deliver that truth, now it's up to you to consume and do with what you will. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna jump over, see what Sabatello's doing. We should do something together, me and that guy.
By the way, what's happening with you and Killishaw? Like you were friends, now you're not friends. You unfollowed him on Twitter. What's going on?
Oh no, incessant. Just can't deal with the kid anymore.
Too much.
Sorry. He took a good thing and then he ruined it over the head a little too much.
Not invited to the housewarming?
No.
Invitation revoked? Rescinded?
Everybody but him is invited to the housewarming now. Sorry, Killishaw.
Frank,
actually, not sorry. Not sorry, Killishaw.
No. Frank, you going to the housewarming?
No.
Wow. Okay. I don't know.
Damn. All right. Not invite Frank and Killishaw.
Both invitations rescinded. El Cubano. Hola, Ariel. Greetings from beautiful Miami, Florida. My question this week is if you can match up anyone with Kevin Holland for the entertainment purpose of just listening to banter back and forth, and it was guaranteed to go the distance, who would you pick to hear him go at it with Big Mouth? Personally, I'd love to hear 25 minutes of Holland and Strickland going back and forth while going to war at the same time. That's an incredible one, although Strickland is 85 right now, and Holland is 170.
I'll throw out Nate Diaz, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Those would be good ones.
Yeah, but Diaz 170, not Khabib, right?
What do you mean?
He's 170 now. Has to be his weight class, no?
Yeah. No, I mean, what? Those guys wouldn't come up and fight Kevin Holland? In a fantasy world, those guys couldn't stay in a cage with Kevin Holland? I think they'd both be all right.
What about Bilal?
No. not a notorious...
what about Colby?
No? Also not a notorious talker, right? Like kind of just like...
What? Colby? Oh, during the fight, you mean?
Isn't this literally the question?
Yeah, I know. I just the build-up. Taco Enthusiast. Hi, Ariel. Bear with me, but I have a judge's transparency solution based on experience. I used to work as a director and scorekeeper for a kids' dance competition tour. While quite the opposite of a cage match, the scoring was equally as subjective and consisted of 3 judges that were oftentimes terrible at their jobs. Side note, kids' dance competitions are definitely fixed. Wow. That is pretty nuts. Anywho, to make scoring transparent, we equipped the judges with a microphone attached to a computer where they literally talked through what they liked and didn't like about each performance. Their audio was recorded essentially at the end of the competition. Competitors received the audio from each judge, and the comments they recorded were also made available online for public. Not bad. Imagine this with MMA. Even if a judge doesn't talk much, hearing them say that's a takedown or amazing ring control at least gives you insight into their thinking that led to their scoring. Do you think this could be translated to MMA? Did I just fix judging? You fixed judging! He fixed judging! He fixed judging! I think it would be very valuable to the commissioners, to the commissions. I don't know if you want to make that public, but I actually think that could be very interesting just to gain some insight. Now, some of the best commissioners like to do a download after the fact. I don't know if all of them do that. I don't think all of them do that, but this could be really interesting. I've mentioned the pool reporter in the past. In the NBA, they'll send one media guy to talk to the referees about a controversial play, moment, game, whatever. And it'll be just one guy, and then the answers get disseminated to all the media sources. I would love something like that. Okay, at UFC 276, the pool reporter is going to be Mike Bond from MMA Junkie, and he's going to go to the back and he's going to talk to these three judges or this referee or this commissioner, and then we'll get at least some sort of insight into why they did what they did, why they scored the fights the way in which they did, all that stuff. Wouldn't that be valuable? Wouldn't that be interesting? We have to evolve. And I think accountability and transparency are a big part of that evolution. What's going on here? What the hell? DC just sent me this video. This is very strange. This is the Beverly Hillbillies. He just sent me a random video right now of the intro of the Beverly Hillbillies. I have not, there's no...
I imagine there's more to it.
Well, yes, if you were a big listener or fan of the Beverly Hillbillies show, the DC and Helwani show, we talked about his love. He in his spare time, he likes to watch the Beverly Hillbillies.
That's very interesting.
Like the old school one. Frank, not this Frank. Frank Poole. Bonjour, cher Ariel. I laughed so hard when Yuri Prochaska said, very nice in the post-fight scrum because it sounded like Borat. It did. Very nice. Very nice. Was it on purpose? He's got a colorful and tongue-in-cheek persona. For me, it seems as though that division never had as many different and positive characters as it has right now. Do you think his personality will connect with the fan base now, and now that he's champ? And what's your take on the state of the big boy light division? Honestly, I like it. I think he's marketable. I think he's fun. Obviously, he's very big where he's from. And I think the UFC has something with him. Now, is his style going to lead to a lot of damage, knockouts, knockdowns, this and that? Yeah, he's got to be careful. But a couple years ago, felt like, once John left, it felt like light heavyweight had to rebuild. And I think they've done, and McMahon has done a nice job of rebuilding it. And it's still a work in progress, but I went through the list on Monday. You got the Jamal Hills of the world. You got the Jans still in the mix. Glover, obviously, still in the mix for a bit. Smith is back. Ankalaev is in the mix. Yuri. Do they have that multi-million-dollar name now? But maybe Yuri can be that guy. Abe. Always love to get your take on pro wrestling, so a couple of quick wrestling questions. MJF's pipe bomb, was it better than CM Punk's? No. I think a lot of people were caught up in the moment, but CM Punk's pipe bomb in the moment felt a lot bigger to me. MJF's was great. We're picking between two tremendous moments, but I like that MJF spoke about, a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff, the Colt Cabana, this, I don't know. And there was something about the scene, as opposed to him yelling and swearing, just sitting there, cross-legged and just shooting, felt, I don't know, more impactful. Both great. Both amazing, both two of the all-time best, but if I had to pick one, I'd go with CM Punk's back in 2011. Work, shoot, or both, as in a work was agreed, but then he decided to shoot. No, I think it was 100% a work. Two, it sometimes feels like WWE has become reluctant to give new guys the big push. If you had creative control, how would you pitch Gable Steveson to Vince? Would you have him start on NXT, give him a manager like Heyman to promote him? Who would he feud with? What would you do? I fear Vince will change his name like he does with everyone. Please, God, no. If they change Gable's name, an Olympic gold medalist, and I don't think they will, that would be absurd. P.S. If I could pick any manager for him, it's a toss-up between Helwani or Chael. Thank you. That is an honor. I do think he should probably get a mouthpiece. I think it would help him a lot. And I would build him up like a monster. Play up the fact that he's an American hero. Play up, and he doesn't have to be a negative, like a heel monster, but I think having someone speak on his behalf and build him up goes a long way. I'm a big fan of the mouthpieces. I'm a big fan of the managers. I think he's too green to go straight to the big time. He's done, remember, Angle was big, but he still had to come up a certain system. Brock came up OVW. You got to get someone those reps. Now, NXT is viewed a little differently because it's on TV, but you got to get him working behind the scenes so that when he gets to the top, because you only have one chance to make that first impression. You don't want him to stumble. But yes, him with a Heyman type, an MVP type, I think is the way to go. Hello, Ariel. In the past 5 years, it seems like the UFC has signed one big free agent each year from another promotion. And they have exceeded the hype in every which way. Guys like Justin Gaethje, Izzy, Chandler, and Yuri are all must-see TV and have been tremendous additions to the UFC. There are some of the most interesting or entertaining fighters in the octagon on the mic. I think Patty or Ian Gary are more recent signings that could potentially reach that level. Yes, but those were kind of, it's different to sign a guy from, I don't know, a Ryzen as opposed to a Cage Warriors, a Bellator as opposed to, a Cage Warriors, in my opinion. Other than Kayla, are there any current fighters outside of the UFC that could come in and make an impact on the sport like we've seen from the aforementioned group? I've heard a lot of chatter about Roberto Soldic from KSW. Is he that good? And will he be the next big signing? No update just yet on Soldic. Sounded like UFC was the front runner, but no update just yet. I think he could do, some business. I think he can make some noise. As far as who else is out there that could be big business, let's see. I mean, I'd love to see, I'm not advocating for them to leave, but I'm just thinking of guys who are great, who are outside of the UFC. Mousasi, obviously we saw him, but it's almost like he's gone better in a weird way. Vadim Nemkov. These guys aren't free agents, so don't get crazy on me here. I'm just seeing like who are the, let's be honest, the vast majority of the top 10s are UFC guys. Renier Derrida. Looking at the great MMA fighting rankings right now. Kayla will be at the top of the list, no doubt about it. I think we thought AJ McKee could be that guy. I mean, he still could be that guy. That could be the second one on the list, to be honest. Kayla, AJ McKee. I'm not ready to give up on AJ at all. Lewis, back again with an abuse of power. How about that? My question is regarding UFC contracts and fighter retirement declarations that they are finished. How does the UFC operate with such notice? It appears to differ from regular employment. Joanna signed a deal in May. Historically, GSP was under contract for years during his hiatus and still had time left post his 217 victory. Even Khabib is still under contract. Are fighters not doing their due diligence to end their deal, or is the staying under contract for that potential one more fight too appealing? Much love, Lewis. It depends. Like if you sign that new deal, the clock starts over. So it's not a matter of not doing your due diligence. It's honestly a matter of how much leverage do you have? How much, because people talk about like, oh, they can argue about the crypto thing. They can argue about this. They can argue about they can argue about drug. No, they can't. UFC's like, take it or leave it. So usually they'll accept the retirement when it's you right now telling USADA that you're out. That's when they'll accept the retirement and they'll take you out of the rankings. Matan, good morning, Ariel. I'll keep it short and sweet. What the F happened to the WFL? Seems like after they came on your show, they went radio silent. Well, the thing is, they always said that they were going to launch in February of 2023. That was the initial story. Have I heard a ton from them? No. Did I hear a lot more in the beginning when I first reported about them in September? Yes. Did I have my doubts? Yes. Is it February 2023 yet? No, that's still 8 months away. So let's see. But haven't heard a lot, if I'm being honest. Greetings from Berlin, from Bella. My question is whether it is a disservice to the featherweight division to let Bryce Mitchell and Evlov fight each other or not, because after Volk beats Holloway again, there are barely fights left to make. Would you go with me in recommending sending them on parallel paths? No. They're not two massive stars that you don't want to kill one off. You need to build one up. And I still think there's guys like Arnold Allen out there. So I would book him. Wow. Ha'af shel Helwani. That's Hebrew for Helwani knows. Respect. And wrote it in Hebrew as well. Ha'af shel Helwani. Af is knows. Helwani. Hi, Ariel. Shalom from Toronto, Canada. Why do you think no other MMA promotion was able to replicate the UFC's pay-per-view buy success? I believe no other promotion ever generated more than 100 to 150 pay-per-view buys, even with stack cards and big names. But did they have big names and stack cards? Do you see any non-UFC MMA card in the next few years generating 200,000 or more? No. first of all, you have to understand the UFC brand, those 3 letters, that's the biggest draw in the sport. Someone asked me this recently, who's the biggest draw in the sport? I think it was on this show, in this segment. And I said UFC is probably, other than Conor, they're number 1. It's probably Conor, then UFC. UFC, like I said earlier, has something that Top Rank, that Bellator, that PFL, that Matchroom, that Golden Boy all wish they have, that only WWE has in combat sports, if you will. They could put on a show. They could say they're coming to Austin. They could say they're coming to the O2, that they're coming to the 3 Arena or whatever, and sell it out based on the name alone because you know what you're getting with the UFC product to a degree. The glitz, the glamour, the somewhat big names and fights, depending on the show. Even if it's a pay-per-view, you know what you're getting. You're getting a title fight most likely. No one else has that, and that's the same thing for pay-per-view. No one else has that. So, no, I don't think anyone could get that right now. And why is the UFC able to get it? Because they are the gold standard. They've been around since '93. There wasn't, there was a time when they weren't getting it. It doesn't happen overnight. Unlike pro wrestling, unlike AEW, you need the guys to go out there and win, the gals to go out there and win. So Sabatello could be someone, but he's got to go out there and win. It's not like you can just build up a young, an MJF, a Thunder Road. No, they have to go out there and win. So it's a little tougher. You have to get lucky. You have to get the right matchups, the right stars, the right personalities. Bellator has been missing that. PFL, I think, has a great thing with Kayla and some of the other people. WSOF had Gaethje and Marlon. No one that really got them over the hump, but they were people that they were building. UFC has the name. They've got everything. They got the TV deal. They have the distribution. And they have the benefit of the fact that everyone wants to go there. Everyone is striving to get there. Izzy wanted to go there. Conor wanted to go there. So it's just a product of time. Amy, I was wondering what you thought about Zhang Weili trying to set the terms for a future matchup, even though she is only the challenger. I'm a fan of hers, but I think she already gets preferred treatment as a big part of the UFC expansion plans. It's also clear the crowd reaction factor is still in her head. Honestly, I mean, that's just her calling out. That's her just calling someone out. And Carla's going to come back and say, oh, you're not going to tell me what to do. Guess what? UFC's going to tell both of them what to do. So she had a specific call out. Great. Love it. I don't think it's any more, any less. We all like when they do that. I don't think it's a sign of her getting a big head or getting too big for her britches. Not a big deal. Lewis, hi Ariel. Luke Thomas posted a video breaking down your interview last week with Tim Kennedy. Just curious, when he broke it down, did he mention my name? Did he? I remember. Love Luke. We've buried the hatchet. One time when I was at ESPN, I did an interview with Conor. He broke the whole thing down. He posted like a 45-minute video about my interview and never referenced my name once. It was like some fictitious, mysterious, unknown figure that did the interview. I'd like to think that he did. Feels like the proper thing to do, but I didn't see this video. He broke down my interview with Tim Kennedy about why the Mixed Martial Arts Athletes Association failed. He believes the best solution to fix fighter pay might be turning MMA into boxing by expanding the Ali Act to MMA. Yes, the MMA FA have been fighting for this specific thing. They believe strongly that expanding the Ali Act would help MMA tremendously. Can you please let us know if you agree that something like the Ali Act might be needed as someone who cares about fighter pay? This is from Lewis. Now, to summarize what Luke talked about, 3 different entities, the MMA AAA or the MMAAA PFA Project Spearhead, have all tried to campaign for fighters' rights and were all met with the same stumbling block. The fighters might agree, but they're not going to sign due to fear of retribution. Luke posed the question, what is the way we can actually get fighters protection in the industry, a lawsuit, unionization, the Ali Act? Obviously, there's the class action lawsuit that could be huge, which may not necessarily lead to this, but could get, the fighters a little bit of retribution, if you will. What will make the Ali Act a little tricky in this sport is that Bellator, UFC fighters are all like why I've campaigned for the UFC ones in particular, because they are the creme de la creme. Because if there's a system where someone who's a mainstay in the UFC goes and says because like USADA doesn't pertain to Bellator or PFL. The TV deals don't pertain to all of them. The sponsorship thing doesn't pertain to all of them. It's very unique. So if you go in there and you say like, hey, if we fight 6 times in the UFC, we're at a certain level, and if we fight 10 times, we get a kind of pension, and we get a 401k, I don't know, or we get a seat at the table, we get to not be drug tested, or there's a million different things that are just exclusive and specific to the UFC, and that's why it feels like there has to be a UFC specific entity, association of sorts. Now, if there was a broader thing that protected all fighters like an Ali Act, that would be tremendous. Of course, I would not argue against that. But I do believe in addition to that, there needs to be something specific to the UFC. Steven. Swazdi. Hello and Thai, Ariel. First, I want to thank you for all the content. You've been a big part of me losing 160 pounds now, or a full lightweight. Wow. As I listen to you during my workouts, still lots to go, but your entire team have been amazing to go above and beyond with these 4-hour shows. And I want to include everyone that assisted previously when you were with ESPN. I'll send that nice thank you once I hit 205 pounds. Wow. Great job, Steven. 1, do you think Glover Teixeira calling out Jan Blachowicz before his fight last weekend will now work against him? Allow for the number 1 contenders match to face the new champ and give Glover the fight he originally asked for after Jan won instead of the rematch. All the way from Thailand, let's go Blue Jays. Man, Blue Jays are great. They're finally putting it all together. Vladi is incredible. It's a joy to watch them play, although the Yankees are doing great as well. But still, I'm very, very high on the Jays, and I think they can make a run. I think they can make a run, even if they win the wild card and not the East. But damn, the East is, I mean, Yankees, how are they doing so damn good? No, I don't think that will bite him in the butt. I think it's going to come down to Jan or Glover. I can't really get a sense for which direction, but it sounds to me like Yuri wants Jan, so maybe they'll go in that direction. But I don't think that bites him in the butt. He was talking as champion. It's different. Dan, hello, Ariel. I always feel as if I'm stuck with the idea that I want people to fight in the weight classes I've seen them thrive best in. To me, I want Dustin and Nate to fight at 55. Yeah, but you get older, it's hard to make that weight, especially for Nate. So that it holds implications for a title fight at 55. Same with McGregor. I have zero desire to see him fight Usman. Agreed. And same as Hamzat versus Nate, or even Colby versus anyone at 85. Don't necessarily agree with that. People move all the time. How do you feel about people jumping around weight classes for fights that really hold no implications on the ranking system? Sometimes it's weird. Like Nate versus Connor 2, I wish happened at 55, but I don't mind Colby losing 2 title fights and then going up, fresh coat of paint. So I think it's specific. Nate has fought at 70 a bunch. Don't hate it. Dustin, all right, fine, but if that's the only time, like the guys who aren't getting title shots that are just kind of there now because they're stuck because they lost to the champ, I don't mind it at all. Just a few more left here. David, hey Ariel, when you say we'll know about the Diaz future within the end of the month, is it likely a future where Diaz is still around with the UFC? Potentially. I feel like you could have been doing a read between the lines moment on Monday when you threw out the hypothetical Dustin versus Nate for August. Am I wrong on this? Maybe. Maybe not. I can't divulge at this moment. Wow, Frank, we've got breaking news. One of my favorite people who listen to the show, in fact, almost after every show, if not every show, the great Angela Higgins of Scotland always posts that she's watching the show in Scotland. And Lewis tells me that this is Angela's first ever question for On the Nose. How about that? Angela's the best. Hello, Ariel. We all know you're a fashion icon. Wow. With your vast array of plaid shirts. Thank you. And the sneak peeks of sneakers and hoodies we see. Wow. That is so very kind of you. In fact, yesterday, I went to my daughter's graduation. She had her pre-K graduation, and I actually wore my Roots of Fight Bret the Hitman Hart jacket. And wow, I was the talk of the town. Everyone wanted to talk to me about Bret Hart. And wow, you're so cool. Look at you. You're wearing a Bret Hart. I was like, this is just a jacket. Like this is just me like out of bed. I wasn't trying to make a statement here. I was just trying to wear my cool jacket. That's it. But I appreciate the kind words. As a self-confessed sneakerhead, I'm interested to know what are some of your favorite sneakers. I got my first pair of Nike Dunks 6 months ago, and I have to say they're not my faves. My current faves are Adidas Superstars, but I flip-flop on favorites every few months. I'm strictly a Nike SB guy. I've always been a Nike SB guy for the past decade plus. I've mentioned in the past my favorite SBs are the Miss Pac-Mans. I like my De La Souls. I'm obviously, honestly, I'm not like that big of a sneakerhead. Like I'm not one of these people who like wears the shoes once and never wears them again. I like to just wear them. I used to go to Flight Club all the time.
Do you wear Jinkos?
I don't know what that is. What's Jinkos?
The big baggy pants. No. We were curious, but carry on.
What do you mean? Like I rock the baggy pants with the cargo thing on the side.
Yeah,
I was into that.
All right.
Wore the backwards pants too. Crisscross will make ya.
Did you really?
Of course.
That's
overalls? Did you wear overalls?
Yeah, but with both straps on?
No, one. Of course. Who wears both? Anyway, love the SBs. Can I tell you something though? Sign of the times. Can I tell you what I'm really into these days?
Please.
Allbirds.
The shoes. No?
The shoes, yeah. Not just actual birds. Have you ever tried Allbirds?
No, I've seen the ads.
Oh my God. It's literally...
Wait, should I turn on the music? Is this an ad?
No. Okay. It's literally like walking on clouds. They are amazing. If you have an opportunity to buy Allbirds, I could not vouch for them more. Some of my favorite shoes.
But I never see you wear them.
Nah, I have a few. It's more like when I have to dress up a little bit. I do like my SBs for doing the show because they're just there. And honestly, I have way more shoes. I basically will wear one for a long period of time. I'll kill it, and then I'll move on to the next.
Makes sense.
But yeah, SBs are my favorite. I like the fat tongue. Olajuwon, good afternoon, Ariel. If there was one event, doesn't have to be MMA, that you didn't get to see live in person, but wish you could have, which one would it be? Have a great day and show. Easy question for me. I've thought about it a lot. Game 7, 1970 NBA Finals, May 8th, 1970, Madison Square Garden, the Willis Reed game. He walks out. Here comes Willis, and the crowd goes wild. He makes his first 2 shots. Knicks, Lakers, Knicks roll, win their first championship. If I could go back to one sporting event over time, it would be that game, Game 7, MSG, May 8th, 1970, to see my beloved New York Knicks win their very first championship. I'd love to see it. Caleb, any idea which direction they're heading with Hamzat? I feel like now that Usman Leon is official, we should see something soon. Nate, Bilal, Colby. I have a hard time seeing Colby at the moment, if only because he has that legal thing brewing. I think Nate is still in play. I think Bilal is somewhat in play. I think we jumped the gun a little bit last week as a collective unit. And with the Bilal stuff, maybe to get us excited. But I could see them doing it, and I don't mind it. So it seems like maybe a 2-horse race there. Nothing imminent. I think we'll see him in Abu Dhabi. And by the way, I think Abu Dhabi could come sooner than we think. Maybe, let's talk it crazy. Don't freaking make 900 posts about this, but am hearing potentially could be September as opposed to October. There's a few pieces. Like they're figuring it out. So everyone just relax. Viva Frank, GC New York Rick, and Mr. 107. No question. This is from Jason, but I do have 2 comments. MMA Book Club is a grand salami. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Get it going ASAP and make Frank the president. Frank, would you like to be the president of the MMA Book Club?
I accept.
I loved watching that dream come to fruition on the last show. Outstanding work, gentlemen. Last thing, screw whoever has a problem with the guest choices. Keep the new guys rolling in, of course, but we need the old school guys also. Tim Kennedy, my goodness, what a legend. Great interview, great angle, touching other topics, intertwining back together with the MMA community. What a badass. Get older fighters on. Honor the legends, like you always say the UFC fails to do, which is true. These guys paved the way and deserve more respect and exposure. Great work, Ariel, to you and your whole team. Thank you so much for all you guys do, bringing the people what they want. You're a man of the people, the people's champ. Cheers, Jason. Wow. What a comment. That was amazing. By the way, one thing I love about this show, and I've always loved about the show, like even today, we went to Perth, we went to St. Louis, that's where Thunder Rosa was, but then we went to Czech Republic, then we went to Brazil, then we went to Italy with Danny Sabatel. It's amazing how the world is so big, but here on this show, I mean, there is no more global show with global guests like this show. I would say in all of sports. Is there any show in sports where you'll hear from someone in Perth and then go to Brazil, and then go to the Czech Republic? I mean, it's crazy. Constantly, twice a week. Can't stop till the break of dawn. Won't stop. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. 2 more. Sunny. Yo, Ariel, besides making sure the right people get included, what changes would you make for an International MMA Hall of Fame? Example, I think Ronda Rousey deserves a spot on the Pioneer wing rather than the Modern wing. I wouldn't do this pioneer modern nonsense. Just Hall of Fame. They're in. If they're in, they're in, and Ronda would be a Hall of Famer. Also, when does modern end? Does it become postmodern? You're overthinking it. Just, if they make it, they make it. Modern, postmodern, pioneer, this, that. It's too much. But yes, please, did you see the scene in Canastota this past weekend? 3 classes coming together. Legends like Bernard Hopkins and Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather and Holly Holm and Christy Martin. It was just amazing. Lou DiBella, amazing. Okay, last one. Jesus. Phenomenal day to you, Mr. Helwani. Nothing but the utmost appreciation to you and your team. As our show-ending streak continues, on Monday's show, you gave us a brief insight on how your recent situation has tested your parenting abilities. Being parents to multiple children is a full-time job, let alone trying to do it as the only parent. God bless. I consistently make efforts to make sure I provide my share, if not more of the child rearing, because I know that sharing this labor is fundamental to good parenthood, even if the work can be absolutely draining. I have a 3-parter for you here. When you think back when your children were small, they kind of still are. I mean, 10, 8, and 5. But all right, would you say the division of labor between your partner and yourself was shared evenly, or was one parent responsible for more child rearing than the other? Also, has your recent experience made you appreciate your child care even more? And what advice would you give to young parents, especially fathers, regarding this matter? Best regards and long live Helwani. Jesus Alvarez, fellow proud father and dadvocate, which is an advocator for being a good dad. God bless. Listen, women have a way tougher job than us, especially in the early days. When the child is born, like our sole job is to be helpful, be present, but mainly get out of the way. Now, my wife was great. Like, she wanted to do everything. She never complained. She never said, oh, you get up, you do this. Like, she loved it. And it was amazing to see her evolve into a mother. Again, I met her when we were just classmates, and then, we were boyfriend, girlfriend, then fiance, then wife, then like we've been through a lot together. So I've seen that evolution. It's been wonderful. But like, she's doing like 98% of the work. I'm just trying not to screw things up. As things get older now, like soccer, sport, I do that stuff because I love doing that stuff. In fact, my son has a football game, which I'm probably going to miss because it's at 6:00. All good. These are the sacrifices we make. Point is, as they grow up, you kind of start to take your, she's here, she's with them now, I'm not. I travel, she's there, she travels. Like, it just kind of falls into place. No one's sitting there being like, all right, you did this. Thank you very much. I'm going to do that. You did this. It just happens. But yes, I mean, being alone with the kids, it wasn't a chore. It wasn't a bad thing. You're just tired. Like, you can't take a break and go do work and go do this, but we have help. You wish that you had more, I am envious of the people who live with their the same city as grandparents. We don't have that. So that would be great. You probably don't go out as much because you don't have someone staying over to babysit and all this stuff. But
it takes a village.
It takes a village. Amen, Frank. It takes a village, but it's a beautiful thing. And I was watching my daughter graduate yesterday, and they're growing up so fast. And I feel like they've grown up, even though you don't really know them on this show. Most of you, the old time fans, remember when my first son was born 10 years ago, and the second one, New York Rick took over for the third one. When the third one was born, that's when he took over that one show. And it's all going by so fast. But there's nothing I would rather be doing more. There's nothing I would rather do than be with them, than be around them, than help them, than guide them. It's the greatest. I can't vouch for it enough. Parenthood, in my opinion, is the absolute best. And I feel very lucky. 2 boys, a girl. I feel like I have it all. I'm a rich man, as the great Bob Marley once said when he was asked about, if he considers himself a rich man. Do you know this quote, Frank, about Bob Marley?
Yeah, but go on.
You know it?
I'm guessing not.
Well, you just said yeah.
Well, it sounded familiar, and now I'm second guessing myself.
I love this quote.
The one that you're having to look up.
Well, no, I'm going to play it for you real quick.
Okay, thank you.
Because I've played it on my birthday because it puts it all into perspective. I actually saw it for the first time a few days before my first son was born. I was watching the Bob Marley documentary. Have you seen the Bob Marley documentary?
I haven't.
You haven't seen it? It was on Netflix. Well, actually, like 10 years ago. So Wait for it, because I think I needed it. Oh, wait, is this it? No. Wait for it. Wait, I want to play it now. Oh, wait for it. Wait for it.
The anticipation is overwhelming.
Wait for it. Oh man, I screwed this up, didn't I? Frank, I screwed it up. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait, Frank. Can you just wait for it? Wait for it.
How long is this going to go?
Oh, here's it. Here it is. This is the Bob Marley quote.
Do you make a lot of money out of your music? Money? I mean, how much is a lot of money to you? Yeah, that's a good question. Have you made, say, millions of dollars? No. Are you a rich man? What do you mean rich? What do you mean? You have a lot of possessions? A lot of money in the bank? Possession make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life, forever.
Wow, what a quote. Did you hear that? Were you able to hear that?
Yeah, and I have heard that before.
He doesn't his possessions don't make you rich. His richness was life, and that's how I feel. My richness is life. So I feel very blessed. Very, very blessed. Danny Sabatello and I, we both agree. We don't need the money. Our richness is life. God bless.